Again, I'm muted again. This is Solo P1. Welcome to Keep It Sports. We're going to be talking about the Singapore Grand Prix race weekend. And also, we're going to be talking about some other news, what's popping up over social media, true or not true, social media. We're going to take it out we see. But before we start this video, I'm going to bring in my co-Qs, my partner in crime. He's the co-owner of this channel, Keep It Sports. He is Solo. No, not Solo. Toto Abba.
Yeah, we got man.
Finally got through that whilst at the first segment and it was muted, so I had to go back and do it again. So there you go. So how you been doing, bro? Got the
Yeah.
setup on the screen. Can you see the screen, the setup?
Yeah, set us good, set us good.
Yeah.
But yeah, feeling well. Yeah, just feeling well. Recapping on the football, recapping Formula One, obviously. Getting ready for the video. But yeah, all good.
Yeah, man, we've got a busy weekend. Oh yeah, I got someone in the comments. Oh, big up Jordan, welcome. Oh yeah, there you go. Look at his logo.
Yeah.
He knows the truth. Big up Jordan, welcome to the channel, man. Thanks for your support. Go subscribe to Jordan. He's got a brilliant channel. He covers nearly every game what's on. And he's a hard worker. So go pay your respects to Jordan. Big up. So yeah, man, we're gonna be talking about the race weekend, and we're going to start talking about some news as well. Before we start getting into the weekend, there was rumors about Daniel. We're going to get straight into it. Daniel Ricciardo, is he going to have a seat for next season? And it looks like he's going to be on the way out because the way he was talking, it's like he was saying his last goodbyes, because we know the next Grand Prix is going to be in 4 weeks. I don't know why they're having another 4 weeks off for. Absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, we'll get into that as well about the schedule and that. But what do you think about Daniel Ricciardo? If it is his last race, what do you think about Daniel Ricciardo and his achievement? Do you think he's underachieved, or do you think he's overachieved? What do you think?
I think, in my opinion, when he was at Red Bull, I think he deserved a title. That's in my opinion. I think he deserved at least one title by the time he was there, especially in his prime. The overtaking was a big factor of his driving. Of course, they named him the last of the late breakers. And yeah, Daniel Ricciardo in his prime when he's at Red Bull, Toro Rosso as well. I think it was at Toro Rosso that he was at Red Bull.
Yeah.
He was amazing. He was amazing, and especially that Ricciardo and Verstappen rivalry, pushing Verstappen to the limit. It was amazing. And of course, when he left Red Bull, people think he ran away from a fight. You know, that's what other people think.
What do you think?
Me, I don't know.
From Christian Horner, by the way, that was a quote.
It was from Horner, but I don't think he weren't running away from a fight. The reason why I say that is because at Red Bull, you know who the main guy is. You know who the main guy is. It's Max Verstappen. You know the main guys are going to prioritize him every single time when it comes to the championship. They're going to prioritize him because that's just their golden boy, right? So I think personally, when Ricciardo moved teams, went to Renault, and it was managed by Cyril, I thought they had a good thing going there. You know, and I think the problem with Ricciardo that he team hopped so many times.
Yeah.
And when you team hop, you got to get used to new engineers every couple of years. It's hard, and that's what he did. He team hopped. I reckon if he would have stayed at Renault or something like that, they would have had a good thing going, or stay at Red Bull. He could have still been, not necessarily still be in the car, but he probably would have won a championship.
Yeah.
But again, that's probably, yeah. But I think that's a guy who deserved the world title in his hands, at least one. That's the guy who deserved the world title in my eyes. I think he deserved the world title. But for me, I don't think he should have left Red Bull. He should have stayed for another season and see how it ended up. Because the Red Bull car was on the up. I admit he was on the up of the Red Bull car. So, yeah, in my opinion, it's a guy who deserves the title. It's a shame that he's walking away from Formula One without a title. But, it's Formula One, then things happen. It's either sink or swim. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, he's Jack Villeneuve, very brutal and honest about his opinion on Daniel Ricciardo. He says he's not. Why is he still here? He's always making up excuses about whatever team he goes to, the cars that's set up. And he's saying you can make that excuse when you're a champion like Lewis Hamilton. He's won 8 world titles. But for a guy who's never won nothing, he can't really make them excuses and then demands. I think he made a mistake by leaving Red Bull 100. Let me just turn my thing off. Sorry. I think he made a mistake leaving Red Bull. At the time, I remember when he left. At the time, I thought it was a good decision because you could see there was starting to favour Max Verstappen, the young driver. Even though Daniel Ricciardo was young at the time, you could see that there was started to lean towards Max Verstappen. I remember that incident at Baku when they both clashed, which personally it was Max Verstappen's fault. Daniel Ricciardo was clearly the faster driver, and they got discombobulated, and then they both crashed. And I think that was a turning point for Daniel Ricciardo. But as what you said about teen hopping, I thought, he has been a teen hopper, and that's cost him. I thought it was like you said. I thought it was all right at Renault. I thought they was building the team around him. Cyril, the team principal at the time. I thought he was a funny guy. He was, man. Cyril. He was a funny guy, especially when he thought he'd done over Horner. Remember that drive to survive and he was laughing at him? That was funny. He spent all his money on Daniel Ricciardo. They invested in Daniel Ricciardo. And if you look at that season as well, he started to make gains on the top teams. He started to do well. But obviously, he thought that he weren't good enough. So he went to McLaren. And then famous words, what he said to Lando Norris in the press conference, I will end you. Trying to intimidate Lando Norris, but nobody got ended except for him, his career. So he fell out with Zach Brown. I know that there was some disagreements backstage, but in the back, and that left him to he left Formula One for a season. He's come back after 1 year of being out. He was basically working for Red Bull as an advertiser. He was advertising the products of the world, basically around the world for 1 year, and then he finally came back into Formula One. He thought he was going to probably do over Tsunoda, but again, Tsunoda had the better of him, and that's how it's been since he's been back. He's been back now 2 years now, hasn't it? Well, 1.5 years, and he hasn't done anything. So I'm looking at this situation now, and I'm probably thinking, I think it's time for him to go. Maybe I don't know how old Daniel Ricciardo is. I don't know how old he is. I think he's about 34, 35, maybe around about there. I know he's a bit younger than Lewis, so maybe it's time for him to probably go and do something else. Maybe he needs a year off. Well, he's young. There you go. He's a young man. So if he wants to, he could leave Formula One for about a year or so. Maybe do some other racing categories. He could get into any category he wants. Because that's the good thing about being a Formula One driver. Once you're a Formula One driver and you leave, you can go to anywhere you like because you've been a Formula One driver because it is the pinnacle of motorsport. So if I was him, I'd probably leave. And then if he wants to come back after a year, if the hunger's still there, come back. If the hunger's not there, then you don't come back. That's Formula One. Once you wake up in the morning and you feel like, I just can't be bothered to do it today. I can't be bothered to go out and run a couple more miles to get myself fit to get into the car. Then your career's over. Only he knows that. We don't know that. But look, at the end of the day, if he leaves, I think he's massively underachieved. I think if he would have stayed at Red Bull, he would have been at least a 2-time world champion by now. He, in his day, in his prime, he's still in his prime, but when he was in his 20s, I thought he could have won the world title, but he left. And what Christian Horner said, that he said he ran away from a fight. He kind of did. Let's call it a spade. And
kind of did, yeah.
He walked away. He walked away from a fight. So it is what it is. So that's enough of Dan Ricciardo. I just wanted to get that out of the way. But this is about the Singapore Grand Prix. Again, Lando Norris doing the business. So we're going to get into the race day. So before the race started, it was a weird one because everybody was on medium tires, and Lewis Hamilton and I think it was Daniel Ricciardo were the only people. We're not really going to talk about so much about the tires because that's for debrief. This is more just the overall, the race review and stuff like that. So what was your thoughts on the race going into this about the start? Because a lot of people were saying that, and Rosberg, a few other people were saying that we're talking about Lando Norris, that lately, obviously, when he gets pole, it doesn't really convert it into a good start. What was your thoughts before the race? Did you think that Lando was going to get a good start, or you thought he was going to flop it again?
I thought he was going to flop it.
Yeah,
because after recent history races, he's had the best start, especially at Monza. Started on pole in the last 2 positions in the first 2 corners. He lost one to Max, and then Leclerc went round on the outside, right? And I think he got about the start.
Piastri, wasn't it?
No, Piastri and Leclerc. I don't think Max was nowhere near him.
Nah, Max was at the back.
Piastri and Leclerc went past him. I was thinking, he needs to improve on his starts. We said on the video before, he needs to improve on his starts. And started this race, I was surprised. I was really, really surprised because, as I said, he'd had bad starts in the past. But all I was thinking, if he nails this start, he'll win the race. Because you know how fast his car is. You know how fast his car is. And Red Bull and qualifying looked promising. Did they look promising? Max was getting fastest sectors at some point, right? They did look promising in qualifying, yeah. But race pace, Red Bull getting nowhere in the race pace.
I know.
Back in the day, they used to pull away 5 seconds in the first 5 corners, 3 seconds ahead, and by the end of the first lap, it's 8 seconds.
Yeah, actually, you're talking about that about qualifying as well. You said during the qualifying, let's gloss over the qualifying a little bit. During the qualifying, Max did look good, didn't he? His car looked good. It looked like, but Checo never, for some reason, weird. It's like Max got the better out of the car and Checo never. I was thinking, why ain't Checo getting the best out of the car? Why would Red Bull now sabotage Checo? Especially now that McLaren are ahead of the constructors. Why would that excuse now is not there anymore? Is it because it benefits Red Bull if 2 cars are up there together now? Because we know Checo's not going to win the world title. Why would Red Bull now sabotage Checo? It don't make sense, does it? Because then they're just sabotaging the constructors. You know what I mean? So why do you think Checo wasn't up there? You think like he's just not as good as people say? They're not sabotaging him because that excuse is not there anymore.
Yeah, because at Baku we had an amazing race.
Exactly. There you go, Baku. Had an
amazing race.
Yeah.
And you know how good Paris is at Baku.
And it's a similar surface as well.
It's similar surface, and people say the king of the streets at Baku because you're always just good at Baku.
Yeah.
Right. You got poles there. When Red Bulls on that dominance, Verstappen was getting poles. Paris always done them over that 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
And this track is a street track, and this is to prove that is it track dependent? Is it skills? Is it just the way the car is?
Yeah.
And I think it's starting to say that at the start of the season when I was doing the podcast, I think with Ty Cuthbert, it was a bit on the pause because I've been busy with lots of stuff. I got to find a date. When I was doing the podcast with Ty Cuthbert, I was saying to him, I think he's sabotaging him. I think they're sabotaging him. I think they are, prioritizing Max. Max is the golden boy. I think they're telling him down his car.
No, I think there was at the beginning.
At the beginning, I think when we started the podcast, it was like 3 or 4 races when we started the first 2024 podcast. 3 or 4 races in. And I'm thinking, I think Perez is getting sabotaged there. But it's been street tracks now. Two street tracks. You got Baku, you got Singapore, right? And you can argue with it now. You can say that, okay, so how when it comes to Baku, he had an absolute amazing race. Now, as soon as it comes to Singapore, his cars all of a sudden slowed down. There's an argument there now. And they're both similar tracks. So Perez, for me, I think he's a good driver. Perez is a good driver. I think he's really, really good. I think, when he joined Red Bull, he's good. But I think he could have done better if he went always second fiddle to Max all the time. But at the end of the day, what's your first priority in Formula 1 is beat your teammate, right?
Exactly.
Never ever beat his teammate. Not even once, right? I don't think you're even ahead of him in points once.
No.
So, so there's an argument there now. I'm not saying it's confirmed. I'm still sticking that he could be sabotaged. I'm still sticking to that.
Yeah.
But there is an argument there now.
Not now, though.
Exactly. There's an argument. There's an argument there. I think I'm kind of leaning towards the other side, saying his car's not sabotaged. It's simply not good enough. You can say that. That's what I'm saying. There's split ends now, and You can say what you want about it, really.
Yeah.
They have their own opinions.
It doesn't make sense. I know the reason why I know you're leaning towards it, just what I said, is because it doesn't make sense now. What are they getting out of sabotaging Checo now? There's no way that Checo is going to win the world title. No chance. I don't think it's even mathematically possible now. So there goes that one. And the second one is, if the more they sabotage Checo, the less chance of Red Bull winning the constructors. Because now in front is McLaren. So it doesn't make sense now. So it is what it is. But during qualifying, let's get into a lot regarding Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton was complaining for the entire weekend, all weekend up to the race, that up to the Q3, that his car does not feel good, that he was oversteering. He goes, I don't know what's wrong with my car. And there was not, obviously, you had the same old commentators trying to stick the knife in and saying, oh, it's happening to other drivers. But as soon as some other drivers say there's something wrong with the car, they highlight it. But when Lewis says it, they all turn around and go, oh, everybody else says as well. It is what it is. We know how they go, the geeks. But now let's get on to the race day. Lewis Hamilton started on the soft tyres. The only one that started on the soft tyres, apart from Lewis Hamilton, was Daniel Ricciardo. Now, we've gone through this to start. Lando Norris got the best start. I agree with you. I was thinking that he wasn't going to get a good start. But the only thing what saved Lando Norris is the fact that the start, it's not that long to the first corner. So all you got to do is just chink away. Once you just chink away about that much, you get into the first corner. It's not a long straight at Singapore. I think that helped Lando Norris as well. But I agree, when Lando Norris went in front, I thought to myself, as long as they don't mess up in the pit, as long as the car don't break down, most likely he's probably going to win. But what surprised me even more in this race is how fast he got away from Max Verstappen. How fast it was. Because I remember in qualifying, the Red Bulls actually said, our race pace is not that good. But when you hear other teams say that, it's all mind games, isn't it? But it was actually true. When the race came, right, Lando Norris just pulled off within 3 laps. He was like 3 seconds in front, and I thought that was amazing. The pace that McLaren, because McLaren has been working on that race pace. Now, lap 9, he said to Lando, get the 5-second gap, and Lando says, no, that was lap 9, and Lando said, okay. And then as soon as he said that, the lap later, he was 6 seconds in front, so he was showing that car was there. So. And lap 10, they said to Oscar Piastri, plan B. I believe Oscar Piastri wouldn't have messed up in that qualifying, that Oscar Piastri would have got the 2, but he never. He was at the back. But I believe it was at another circuit, he would have passed everybody and probably got himself into P2 anyway. We know Singapore is one of those tracks. So the first person to pit was Daniel Ricciardo, and that was at lap 11. He started on the soft, but he pitted on lap 11. Do you thought that was too soon for Daniel Ricciardo? Do you thought he should have carried a little bit longer? What's your thoughts on Daniel Ricciardo pitting? So for me, I thought lap 11 was too early, even though we started.
Lap 11 was early.
It's well too early.
Yeah, and I think later on in the race, Sainz pitted.
Lewis pitted at lap 21, and they started on the soft tyres. The both the same. So Daniel Ricciardo's pitted like 9.5, 10 laps.
Yeah, so he started on the soft, didn't he? Started on the soft.
Same, yeah.
I think that the soft could go on longer. I think the soft was a decent tyre.
I thought there was as well.
You look at Lewis.
Yeah.
How long he went. Of course, Lewis. You know what Lewis is like. He is the king of time management.
But so's Ricciardo.
Yeah, I know. Ricciardo's a good time manager as well. So's Alonso. Alonso's a really, really good time manager. There was one time where he went on the hard tyres, so like until 10 laps towards the end, about 60, 50 laps on the hard tyres.
GP Tour.
Is that kind of driver, like Hamilton's that kind of driver. Ricciardo's a good time manager as well. But the thing is that I think he went too early, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Of course, Sainz as well, pitting early as well. I think went in too early as well. Hamilton was there as well there. But look, it was too early at the end of the day. He could have waited a few laps after. I'm not sure what Lewis pit. I think I got it. Lewis pits lap 18. So he could have made it last a couple more laps.
Lewis pitted at lap 21. Lap 21. It was lap 21. Lewis said, no. He picked, now you're right. He pitted lap 19. And then at lap 21, he came on the radio and he said to his engineer, I think I clipped the wall going into the pit. So you're right. He did pit on lap 19.
Yeah. So he could have had a longer stint, maybe got better track position, because pitting too early, it's going to hurt your tires in the long run. On your second stint, it's going to hurt your tires. Usually pit a little bit more earlier, so your second stint of tires, like hard tire, for an example, will last longer during the race. But yeah, to me, he should have made his stint last maybe 5 or 6 more laps at least. Then go in and see what you could do from there, from the hard tires, maybe towards the end, or maybe like he did, pit for the soft towards the end for the fastest lap.
Yeah.
He should have went longer.
Yeah, you're right. I think that was a mistake because I think he pitted 3 times in that match. I'm sure. I mean, during the race, sure he did. So, like I said, lap 21, Lewis said, I nearly clicked the wall. There was discussing. The engineer said, let's have a look at the data, the computer. The computer come back, said he was fine. He wasn't really losing any time at all. That's what we was all worried about, because if he's losing time, he might have to pit again. But Lewis' car was fine. Lap 23, Lewis saying to you, do you think we need to pit? Why did we pit so early? Which I thought the stint was all right. He came in at lap 19. I think that was fine. Obviously, Lewis would probably think his pace was still there, but they pit him early. Do you think that was a kind of a sabotage thing for me? I don't know why he started on the soft. I do not know why Lewis Hamilton started on the soft. There was absolutely no benefit from starting on the soft at all. None.
I think that his plan was to go ahead Max. That was his plan. And common sense for strategy, if you start towards the front, right, you go on a harder tyre.
Yeah.
You try go long.
He was near the front, he was 4th.
Especially yeah, but you're on the second row. You're on the second row.
Yeah, but I just think it was a mistake. I think
his idea anyway. It was a mistake in my opinion. And his idea was to get ahead of Max, and it's not a guarantee you're going to get ahead of Max
because it's too short. Because where you start from, the first corner, it's too short. It's not like it's Monza or anything like that. It's short.
For me, I would have started in the hards. I like the hards.
Yeah,
for me, I would have started in the hards. It's a high humidity track. It's night time, but it's still hot.
Exactly.
And yeah, for me, I think it should start in the hards and then go on the mediums towards the end.
We'll talk about tyres more the debrief. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's just more.
We both agree that he should have started on the hard tyres, 100. Yeah. Basically, because the reason why we'll get into that straight. I don't want to get into it. Russell pitted lap 28, got 2.2 seconds, so it was quite a good pit from Russell. Obviously, when he come out, he was in front of Lewis. So it was sabotage for me. Oscar Piastri came in at lap 39, got a 2.3 seconds pick. That was good as well. I thought Oscar at this point, because Lando, I know what's his name? Max Verstappen pitted earlier, and the key was for McLaren is that they was going to pit Oscar, put the fresh tyres on, and he was going to try and catch Max Verstappen. Didn't work out. I thought he was going to catch him. It seemed like he was losing pace. He got past 2 or 3 drivers, and it was clear air. But for some reason, he just couldn't catch Max Verstappen. I think he got within 9 seconds. He had enough time. There was like 18 laps to go, and he had enough time, but he just didn't do it for some reason at all. It would have been good if he would have got it, and he would have been a 1 and 2, but he didn't. Lando Norris towards the end of the race got the fastest lap as well. So Lando Norris was looking good because he was in front and he got the fastest lap. So that was extra points. But all of a sudden, Red Bull pulled something out of the hats. They told RB, which is basically Red Bull 2.0. Yeah, they told RB to come into the pit Daniel Ricciardo. I'll do it, sir. I'll pit, sir. Told him to come and pit. Yeah, and he pitted and got the fastest lap. Took the fastest lap off Lando Norris. What was your thoughts on that when he took the points off Lando Norris? This is why there should be a rule in Formula One that you can't tell. I know the team obviously belongs to Red Bull, but this is a point of having 2 teams in Formula One. You can do that, and I think that's an unfair advantage.
Yeah, because even Red Bull said to Mac, your pal Daniel Ricciardo got took the fastest lap, and then Verstappen said, "Thank you, Daniel." Look. Out of all drivers to pick Daniel,
could have just said thank you, son. That would have been better.
Yeah, but Tsunoda's at the points, Ricciardo's at the points. and of course they went for Ricardo to go in. I think it's just like a statement, in my opinion, that Ricardo went in and helped him gain points. And Norris is in an absolute amazing position. Fastest lap, going to get 26 points. Every point matters in this game. Taking that extra point off the championship can be brutal. It can be brutal. Every point counts in this game, and yeah, it's just in my opinion that it's called RB. It's called, look, you got a Red Bull racing team, and you got RB, which stands for Red Bull. So you got a Red Bull and a Red Bull.
Yeah,
they're both called Red Bulls. They call it RB. It's just a shorter name for Red Bull. What does RB stand for? Come on, a team not going to be called RB. It's not even called a racing team. It's just called RB. It's Red Bull. It's a Red Bull and a Red Bull on the same track. There is two teams, 4 drivers, in my opinion. 2 teams, 4 drivers. There's the one team, which is Red Bull, and there's 4 drivers in one team. You remember the old days when they had 4 drivers in one team?
Yeah.
It's basically the same. Red Bull, RB. It stands for Red Bull. There's one team and 4 drivers. That's in my opinion about that.
Yeah, you're right. So that's it really. That's what we're going to be doing now. I'm going to be head off. We're going to go to the gym, get an hour in. It's getting a bit late. I'm going to get my gym in, man. So yeah, man, we just wanted to talk about the Formula One. The debrief will be coming soon. There's no debrief now there's no Formula One now to another 4 weeks, which is absolutely ridiculous. The time, I don't know who made this schedule up. Absolutely, they've just had a summer break. They've come back, done 3 or 4 races. Now they're off for another 4 weeks, which is not even classed as a summer break. So they can still go in the garage and still do work on the cars. So they're going to come back and have 3 triple headers. Name me. Give me 1 point. Give me 2 triple headers. So back to back. So I just don't get it. I don't get who would make this stupid schedule. Absolutely pathetic. But it is what it is. It's Formula One and it is what it is. They need to rethink the schedule, man. Just doesn't make sense. 4 weeks and all Formula One, then you're back and doing 2 triple headers. It is what it is. So this is the guys. They're going to be knackered anyway. But that's what they get. Two triple headers, and having this 4. There's no more Formula One for 4 weeks. Huh?
That's 6 races, 6 weeks.
I just don't understand why they got no Formula One for 4 weeks. I don't get it. Who made this schedule? They just had the summer break not long ago. Now they're having another 4 weeks off. And it's technically not really a summer break, but that because they can go in the garage now and work on the cars. In the summer break, first 3 weeks you can't. It's all lockdown. So basically, this is like a summer break, but they can go in the garage and work on the cars. It's absolutely pathetic. It's pathetic. No Formula One for 4 weeks. I just don't get it. But it is what it is. This is me, Solo P1 signing out. You got the stuff coming up as well, Toto?
I think this week I've got a league on Sunday. Hopefully I don't disconnect last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing really else. I just waiting, for FC25 to bring out more content so I can do, reviews on it and that because FC25 is building my team up.
Yeah. I'm not really playing that much. I'm gonna wait for a bit to play that.
I know there's no content. There's no content where I can't.
I'll wait till October.
Yeah, but
I'm not grinding for nothing. Forget that. Pause.
Yeah, but look, that's it. That's it, really.
All right, and so we have got something good tomorrow. We got tomorrow the play lineup, Liverpool Cup game on Wednesday, and we got the play lineup tomorrow. That'll be coming tomorrow, probably around about 7:00. That'll be up tomorrow, and look out for that on the channel as well. But all for Formula One fans, I know it's coming at a random time. Remember, if you like this video, share, because we usually get the views after when we lock after we can start liking the video. So remember, if you're watching this on the playback, remember to like the video and big up to everyone. Before we go, we're going to big up to our mascot, Kurgan. Kurgan, our mascot's is saying goodbye to everyone. There you go. There's Kurgan. Boom. Every time I see that, it just cracks me up. But anyway, guys, see you later. Big up to everybody. There's a trailer. Bye.
On the brakes, Leclerc